Furious 7. This came out in 2015, directed by James Wan, and is actually an action-adventure thriller movie around 2 hours and 17 minutes long. Now, the story of this is Deckard Shaw seeks revenge against Dom and the crew for his brother Owen Shaw. Let's jump straight into the good points. Now, the good points about this movie is James Wan deserves a great amount of credit for when it comes to making this movie, especially when he's a guy known for his horror genre stuff. I really think he deserves a lot of credit for this movie. We get another awesome storyline throughout this movie. It really connects with the rest of the franchise really well, and it delivers on every single level. We get the awesome cars, we get the awesome action and the races, especially the car chases. They're very key for this movie. The pacing of the movie and the tone of the movie was very well maintained throughout. We got the fast-paced stuff, we got the slow-paced stuff for the emotional and storytelling sequences, with a tone that really delivers with that. And also the comedy comes through very well, just like the last couple movies have. It really balanced very well. It isn't too much comedy. The technical side of these movies just keep improving as the franchise has been improving as well. They just keep improving and just delivering when it comes to the cinematography, the editing, when it comes to the lighting, the locations they pick. Everything just comes together very well for this movie. And Vin Diesel as Dom is a great thing in this movie. He really pushes the movie forward in this movie and really delivers something special. His connection alongside obviously Paul Walker as Brian, and also in this movie obviously because of the sudden tragic news obviously around this time obviously of Paul Walker's passing, we have Cody Walker stepping in this movie as well. I wanted to give mention for him. For the parts Paul Walker was in, he was absolutely awesome, especially when it comes to the hand-to-hand combat scenes with obviously some of the people in this movie. I think he done a great job, a massive upgrade for the character when it comes to the physical style, because it's normally Dom taking over that stuff, but these two together in these movies just really know how to really build a great relationship and really get you quite teary-eyed as well, because I find them very unique in their own way of how they're like brothers really, even though they're not brothers. It's like that brotherly type thing, and they make a relationship really flourish throughout this franchise, and they're such a great pair and duo. Then also I absolutely love Ludacris as Tej and Tyrese Gibson as Roman. Throughout the last couple of movies, these have been building a relationship that's just absolutely outstandingly funny, and they absolutely know how to make me laugh every single time I watch these two, trying to bet on who can actually get Ramsey. That's another funny thing they really try to do with this movie, because Ramsey's an interesting character which comes into it, obviously played by Natalie Emmanuel. Ramsey's obviously the sort of hacker, the one who invented God's Eye in this movie, and I found her an interesting character, and her with these two was very funny because they're both trying to fight and win her over. And there was just some really key stuff between these three. We also have Ronda Rousey and Tony Jaa actually introduced into this, two professionals when it comes to the more like the combat scenes. Obviously, Ronda Rousey being from UFC and Tony Jaa being a martial artist. I really enjoyed them. They were so badass in this movie, especially Tony Jaa. He was in it a lot more with them hand-to-hand combat scenes. We have Michelle Rodriguez as Letty coming in again. I love how they've been patient with her, really obviously recovering her memory. How they used it in this movie was absolutely great, and how they built the movie from start to end with her as a character. She really flourished well in this movie, and I really did enjoy her. Kurt Russell as Mr. Nobody, such a great character introduced into the Fast and Furious franchise. I feel like he's pure awesome. I love the guy's humour. I love his relationship with Dom as well. They really link well, and I just love how chilled he is. He sort of brings Han's sort of presence, but with humour. The main villain as obviously Jason Statham as Deckard Shaw, a great villain in this movie. I think he was really great. Again, another cocky British villain, just like his brother in the last movie, played by Luke Evans, Owen Shaw. He's out for revenge. He brings his presence on the screen. You know, just looking at him fight and speak, He's just badass, and you know he could actually beat every single one of the crew because he's just got that vibe around him, and presence is just so great. He takes them to the limits and sometimes even beyond. The best part of the movie for me was really how they handled Paul's send-off. Really, it was amazing how they done that. It gets me every time I watch it for sure, and how they dealt with it was just perfectly. The goodbyes, we got the video package, the music, and the way they just finished the movie with it as well, perfection. Now on to the bad bad points. Unfortunately with this movie there is some bad points compared to the last couple, and I have to pick them out. Some things are a bit awkward when it comes to Furious 7 because the plot suffers. Obviously, unfortunately with Paul's death, it really sort of suffered the storyline and the franchise with this movie, really it is. Because it is especially mixing so many storylines, like obviously Han's death in this, we get the whole God's Eye story, and the situation with Statham wanting revenge and stuff. It's so jumbled, it's unbelievable. And then obviously adding Paul Walker's send-off and stuff. There's so much to do in such a short amount of time. Even though it is over 2 hours long, it is very hard to do. I still think they've done a decent job with that, but it is very noticeable throughout. And the main thing for me really is Dwayne Johnson as Hobbs was barely in the movie. When he was in the movie, he was great. I absolutely love Hobbs as a character, one of my most favourite characters for sure in the Fast and Furious franchise. Johnson, he's a big name, obviously he's one of the best actors out there nowadays, and I think definitely he should have stepped up more in this movie. He was more on the sidelines. I understand the story wise of why they did it and what they did and stuff. It works, but it also didn't work for me because I feel like he could have been a key character for this movie. Now on to the critics' ratings. We have IMDb giving it a 7.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes giving it a 81%. And Metacritic giving it a 67. My rating for this movie is an 8 out of 10. That makes this totally awesome. Overall, guys, you can definitely enjoy this movie. It has its little nitpicky issues. We can't heavily criticise this movie because of the unfortunate circumstances which happened with Paul Walker, obviously, at the time. But again, it does what the franchise is about now. This franchise is an action-packed, fun, entertaining popcorn movie, which is unrealistically awesome. And if you guys can't appreciate that, then this franchise just isn't for you. But for me, I really do enjoy the franchise, where it started, where it come. I do miss elements of the past, but I do love the stuff that they're doing now as well. So guys, an 8 out of 10 for Furious 7. Don't forget to leave your ratings and thoughts down below in that comment section. Of course, I'd love to hear what you think. As well as, guys, if you enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button. Lets me know you enjoy the content I'm giving you. Without missing it, you guys just need to subscribe and hit the bell if you're new here. You won't miss a thing when it comes to movies and TV series. There's a bunch of stuff on the channel and a bunch of stuff coming up. We are so close to the end of the journey, as mentioned. We've got tomorrow's upload for the Fast and Furious 8, the last one, the Fate of the Furious. I don't want you guys to miss that review for sure. Then we're going to be watching Hobbs and Shaw, reviewing that, and then ranking them all from the worst to the best. So without further ado, guys, I've been me, you've been you, and I'll see you next time, guys, on Talking with Jay Springer.